welcome to week 4 of home practice from 621 North Bozeman Avenue, Bozeman, Montana. So I am beginning to realize as we go into this coronavirus time more week after week that this is a time of transformation. Not meaning that the transformation is going to come after this, but that it's a time right now of so much unsettlement inside that actually the change is happening now inside. And I'm beginning to realize it doesn't feel good. I came upon this poem this week and I found this really helpful. And this is by Rilke. Already my gaze is upon the hill, the sunlit one. The way to it, barely begun, lies ahead. So we are grasped by what we have not yet, or what we have not grasped, full of promise, shining in the distance. It changes us, even if we do not reach it, into something we barely sense, but are. A movement beckons, answering our movement, but we just feel the wind against us. So this yoga practice brings us into a discovery of what we are. And we discover that through finding our stability and by moving. So from the stability, we go into mobility, and we balance the stability and the mobility. And that's one of the very big gifts of this practice. And this movement, this movement, where even our movement will be matched, we maybe don't even sense that right now. We might just sense the wind against us right now. That said, we're going to be working with stability and mobility today. So the first thing is pretty much always to establish. Those are the same roots, by the way, establish and stability, stop. And in Sanskrit, that is to stand. So find your standing on your sitting bones here. And go down with the sitting bones. Feel the downness of your intention. Like a wind moving downward through you. And then from that downness, find an upliftment, and almost like a rebound that you might find from the pelvic floor. Think of lifting the pubic bone upwards. Moving the tailbone forward. Not into a tuck, but a meeting of front and back. Of tailbone moving towards pubic bone lifting. Track that lift inside of yourself. Get taller from your hips up to your armpits. Let your upper arm bones connect into the shoulder sockets. And spread across your collarbones, spread your shoulder blades. Bring your palms together in front of your body, below your heart. Feel the touch of one hand against the other hand. So coming into this stability is also coming into feeling, like we talked about last week, coming into the felt sense. And you feel the skin on the soles of your feet here. Feel the skin of your hands, your fingers, one against the other. become curious about your inner state, the state of you now. And let your breath move. So even in our stability, there is the mobility of the life of the breath. Let's chant Om together 3 times. With your next exhalation, bow your head to your heart. Release your hands to your thighs. Then lift your head and gently open your eyes. We're going to start standing up today. So let's come on up to standing. And if you own blocks, have a couple of blocks nearby. Also, if you have a strap, have a strap. I forgot to get a strap. So we're going to start feet a little bit wide, hip width distance apart, and just take your arms out in front of you here, and then feel the effect on your balance, even of just having your arms up in front. So we're going to be moving the arms a lot during this class, and with that upper body movement, we're going to always recheck the feeling of the feet on the floor. So feel here the Tadasana in your feet, the press of the ball mounds down, the heels down. Where are you feeling on your feet? Actually, let the arms just drop down for a moment. And then feel that. Where is your balance now? And then arms front. So stabilize there. And, you know, just even with the weight of my arms out in front of me, I feel that I have to engage a little bit through the core here. It happens naturally to stop myself from, I think my tendency as my arms go forward. Well, my tendency is generally to swing my hips forward. So I'm keeping my thighs back with my arms forward, keeping my heels pressing down. So just feel that here. Now, curl your fingers back towards you, and then curl them down into knuckles and away. And curl back, knuckles down, away, and back, and knuckles down, away. And then release your arms down, and we're going to swing the arms up and stretch here just from side to side first. Right foot up to left fingertips, and right foot up to right fingertips. Repeat that, left foot to left. Make that connection through yourself. And can that connection from the foot to the arm move through the center of you? And come back, open out your arms, and come down. Let's just take the arms to the side now, doing a little bit of a, no, I'm not going to do that one. My daughter's on the side here, so I'm going to end up talking to her. So I might as well just let you know she's on the side. We're going to actually do this. We're going to go out to the side and externally rotate, internally rotate, externally rotate, internally rotate. And notice here that on the internal rotation, the shoulders do tend to lift. And I could resist that, but right now I'm just kind of being easy and just noticing the tendency. On the external rotation, the shoulder blades tend to go down a little easier. I also, my body, I tend to sway forward on the external rotation. So right now I'm stabilizing as I do this arm movement. And let's go up with it. I'm going to credit my teacher, Carrie O'Rourke, with many of these things. Another teacher of mine, Jenny Capular. It could be that all teaching is borrowed in one way or another, or just carried forward. Maybe that's a nicer way of saying it. So, external, internal, external, internal. Notice the difference in your core. Notice the difference in your feet as you go through the different levels. So this is, we're in a plane. This is the vertical plane here. Now we're gonna swing up and go down. Swing up, resist any movement with your torso. Swing up, reach up, and now we're gonna let the knees bend on the going down. And when we go up, pull your fingers back the way we were doing earlier and reach up and even let yourself arch, but don't completely fall out of it. But you notice it's an extension, a little arch, and a flexion. Pull your fingertips back behind you. Breathe in, fingertips back, extend, flex. Extend, flex. And you can even look up on that extension. So there's a little resistance through the core. See if you can discover that on your own. What's the resistance in the core that gives you an ongoing connection to your feet here? It's like knowing where your center of mass is. What keeps you on balance here? What keeps this a connected movement? And reach up one more time, pulling the fingers back. I can just see my palms in the video, that's nice. And then come back down. Now we're gonna come into I'm gonna call this the horizontal plane here. Sweeping my arms forward. My shoulder blades are protracting, coming out to the side, and then coming back and looking up again. So there's again flexion extension, but the arms are sweeping to the side, which makes it a little bit more like horizontal plane. And fingertips in, fingertips back, fingertips in. Feel the shoulder blades on your back, how they wrap around, how they come into the back, wrap around, come into the back, wrap around, and come in to the back. And fingertips reaching back. That's a nice stretch on the fascia, all the way up the arm. I don't know if you can feel that when you work to bring your fingertips back. And release. Now there's one more plane in Euclid geometry, which is so we did sagittal plane, horizontal, and now this is back to vertical. We've already done it once before. But this time I'm going to do that pulling the fingertips back action, and I'm going to actually let myself swing more to my right foot, and then other side. So, feel how you're shifting your weight, so your torso is, shifting off that central line that is mountain pose, but how are you staying with a sense of center in yourself? So you're off the center line, and yet you're keeping your sense of, I have a center. I'm not going to fall here. Feel that nice opening of the long side as you go up. And really letting your hips just shift. That feels so fun when one spends a lot of time stabilizing the hips, as one does in this practice. So now we're going to take one of our familiar yoga poses, Utkatasana. Swing the arms up, bend at the ankles and knees, the hips, and keep your knees going forward over your toes. Press down through your feet, come up, and do feel like you're stabilizing through the torso, in your hips, in the ankles, as you press up onto the balls of your feet, and come back, open out your arms, and down. And again, let's repeat that. The mighty pose, Utka. Utka is mighty. Or no, I guess I should say Utkata is mighty. in. And pulling the arms in actually helps give us a sense of where is center. I think that's the benefit of pulling the legs in. And shift over to your right foot. Find your balance. Just push up if you can. If not, just go back to 2 feet. And come back. So this is all balance challenge. So if it doesn't, it becomes very wobbly, just go back to 2 feet. You're still getting benefit from challenging yourself. Guess we could change the interlock of our hands before we do the second side. Back to 2 feet. Reach the arms up overhead. Extend through the arms. Extend especially through the pinky side of the hands here. And then press up. Open out your arms and come down. Okay. Let me just get the right order here. Let's take a strap. I don't mean the right order. I mean the order that I planned. Okay, we're not doing the strap yet. We're doing a few more things before the strap. So we still have feet hip width distance apart. And now we're going to do another cycling. This time, 1 arm at a time. Follow the movement of your arm and feel that there is a natural rotation that the arm just wants to do. I'm trying to cycle in this. This is called the sagittal plane. So this is like a wheel. Change direction. So feel how your torso is twisting here. You're letting your torso turn. You can even let your hips turn here. But keep your connection to your feet. So don't lose your feet. So you're very rooted through your feet, even as the rest of you, almost like a tree blowing in the wind, is just adapting to this movement. Feel that, the spiraling in your spine. Change direction. So those of you who've been coming to class will recognize this and know that I often add a little mind twister to it, which is the arms going in opposite direction here. My head and my spine are pretty much going to follow the arm that goes back. So I'm going to take it slow. So they're actually going in opposite direction. My spine makes a full turn by the time the other arm is in the back. So let's start by just doing 1 cycle all together. I'm going to reverse direction. So I'm looking back at the hand behind me, coming around looking back at the hand behind me. So repeat that just sort of 1 cycle at a time until you feel like you got the pattern, and then see if you can link cycles. And that's just a sort of fun mental challenge. It's like kind of like a party game. And I hope you felt how the shoulder blades are very active there. They're really getting used. This will be even more so now with really it's a pretty good other party game. Though I learned it I first learned this in the Laban movement program, and we balance tennis balls on our hands. Carrie says this is called the teacup exercise. I learned it with a tennis ball, and so if you have a block, use your block, foam block. I wouldn't really use a wooden block, or use a tennis ball, or anything that's light and yet would fall off. A pebble would be excellent. So go out to your yard or the street and get a pebble if you don't have anything else. So I'm going to make a figure 8 here with my palm open and up to the ceiling. Notice how my hip starts to move. Notice how my spine adapts to keep my palm going upwards. Because believe me, I don't have really a lot of range in my shoulders. And the point here is not to be stretching my muscles per se. It's activating the whole shoulder girdle and the really organic movement between my spine and my arm. So this is, closer to being like a real life exercise in shifts I have to do in my body to accommodate a action. And then I'm going to change the direction of that figure 8. And if you feel like you can't find the figure 8, I think I would say just keep experimenting and trying. How does a figure 8 happen with the block facing up the whole time? Organic, I would say when I say it's an organic action, I think it's a natural action. So palm up, here I come back in a circle. I have to let my body move to accommodate this rolling around of the arm to keep the block facing upwards. It comes through for the bottom half of the circle. It's actually a 3-dimensional figure 8. Is there such a thing as a 3-dimensional figure 8? I guess this is it. This is a 3-dimensional figure 8. Like 3-dimensional chest. So once you've made it around your figure 8 a couple times, see if you can reverse that. Or if you just get stuck at any point, you can just reverse it. But really enjoy here the connection to your feet and the accommodation of your body, of your spine, that it can twist, it can turn to the side, it can flex, it can extend. So really all the joints are moving during that one. Except maybe the finger joints or the finger in the hand. The fingers in the hand or the feet are just stabilizing, I guess. Good. Now we will take the strap. Do you mind hitting that? And we're going to make a fairly small loop, sort of like on the inside of my shoulders, rather not measuring to the outside, but measuring to the inside, and loop that around my wrist. So here I am again with the arms in front of me, and I have to notice how might that pull me off my feet. So I press my heels down. For me, I really go back with my thighs, especially the inner thighs. And now I'm trying to break the strap. We can go in and out with I don't know if you can tell by moving. I'm protracting and then retracting, protracting, retracting, just to feel my shoulder blades there. And then I'm gonna keep trying to break the strap as I go up. Your shoulder blades rise towards your fingers here. Don't think that you want to be keeping your shoulder blades down when you are extended arms over your head. If anything, think about a rising up of the shoulder blades to the fingers so that your armpits are getting longer and longer. It's like there's an upward flow from the press of your feet down and upward flow up the front of your body to lengthen the armpits. Try to get the arms behind your ears. And Utkatasana. Bend at the ankles and knees the hip. Keep an upward flow up the front of the body. Reach through the pinky finger of your hand. Hands come up and press to the balls of the feet. Try to stabilize in your outer hips. Get a sense of the outer hips coming in. The abdomen going to the back of the body. And come back. And release the arms. Place your strap down. You can actually, for this next one, have 2 blocks. And we're going to step or jump our feet wide to triangle pose. I got a little knee irritation today, so I'm stepping my feet wide. Spread out through, lengthening through my fingers here. Imagining my right shoulder blade moving towards my right fingers, my left shoulder blade moving towards my left fingers. Press down through your feet and find the drawing up now, all the way up the inner leg and then up the sides of the spine. Try to expand the downward awareness, the downward purpose in your feet. Turn your left toes in, turn your whole right leg out. Exhale as you come to the side, drawing your right thigh bone into the hip socket. So again, that's an upward movement of energy through the leg, and the leg feeds the torso. Feel your breath. And you breathe all the way down to your feet. And then track a rise of energy from there. Press down through your feet, then come up. Turn your feet forward. Turn your right toes in. Turn your whole left leg out. Get an extra little turn at the top of the left thigh. Breathe in. Exhale. Come to the side. Hand to the block. Draw your left thigh from the press of your left foot. Draw your left thigh into your hip. Breathe all the way down to your feet. And then track the rising up through your legs. Breathe in, come up. Turn your feet forward and step or jump your feet back together. Tadasana. And let the breath, let the prana just fill Tadasana. Be like easy in your Tadasana, easy enough that you are feeling more. Effort can wake up awareness, effort can also sometimes constrain it. So let go a little effort to feel more. Now we are going to retake our strap. And with the strap behind me now, actually, let's do one little Utkatasana. I like the feeling of Utkatasana. Just a little mini Utkatasana with the strap behind the back. Roll your arm bones back. And in a little mini Utkatasana, it's sort of easy to feel that the abdomen can be connected to the back body. So keep that here in your mini Utkatasana, but roll your arm bones back. Feel your shoulder blades moving into the body. And then come up. Step your feet wide. And if you're stepping, you can jump the arms side together. I usually choose not to. But whenever you do step, try to alternate which side you step with. So keep your arm bones rolled back, so your chest revealed here. And turn your left toes in, turn your whole right leg out. And now when you bend to the side, aim your fingers back behind you, which gives you a bit more sense of direction for the torso. At least I find it does. Press down your feet. Breathe into your feet. Down with your feet. And draw up, especially through your right thigh. Feel the right thigh feeding into the right hip. Feeding into the lengthening of your torso to the right. Release your right hand from the strap. Go to your block. And the strap will just fall to your shoulder. So you have that nice sort of lassoed shoulder here. And lengthen your left arm up. Right shoulder blade moving towards your right hand. Left shoulder blade moving towards your left hand. Press down through your feet. Breathe in. Come up. Turn your feet forward. Take back your lasso. And put it around your wrist. Roll your arm bones back. Press your feet down. Be big in your feet. Root through your right toes in, turn your left leg out. Breathe in, exhale, and pointing the fingers back behind you. Maybe that'll give you a little bit more sense of where your chest is moving in space. Can you move your left side ribs more to the left? Press your left foot, draw your left thigh bone more into your left hip. Release the right hand, and then take your left arm up. I quite like that moment where the strap falls onto the shoulder. Move your left shoulder blade to your left hand, right shoulder blade to your right hand. Press down through your feet. Breathe in, come up. Turn your feet forward, and step your feet back together. Tadasana. You can just fold your strap in your Tadasana. Okay, let's go back wide. Not using the strap again until we step wide. So did I already say I don't like jumping with the strap on? I don't really. So now I'm going to let the tail be behind me. And I, again, try to break the strap. I feel, oh, where am I on my feet? Has my arms being in front of me shifted something about my feet? Or where my center is in myself? Take the arms up. I'm just releasing that strap behind me. Hit out against the strap. Feel that lengthening in the armpit. Long, long side body here. And as there's this upward moving through the upper body, this flying up of the arms, connect that to the press of the feet. Feed the thigh bones into the hip sockets. Turn your left toes in. Turn your whole right leg out. We're going to come into warrior two pose. And bend the knee directly out over the toes. Keep the knee attracted to the wall behind you. And now find that press into the feet, the feeding into the thigh bones, into the hips, lengthening your arms up more. So the strap is helping me keep a sense of the vertical here. And now I'm going to release one arm out, stretch both arms to the side. Right shoulder blade going to the right fingertips. And then, so interesting in this pose, left shoulder blade going to the left fingertips. So I weight my left foot more. Breathe in, come up, turn your feet forward. I don't really mind if he comes in, if he's going to be more brain. Also, Jen had said she likes to see yarn. This is for you, Jen! Breaking the belt, or just, hitting out against the belt. Pressing down your feet, but connect. So the belt tends to take our awareness up to where the belt is. Match that with the awareness of your feet here. Oh, he's dug up a bone and brought in the dirtiest object he could possibly have brought into the yoga room. Turn your right toes in, turn your whole left leg out. And bend the knee in the direction of the toes. Keep that hitting out of the wrists against the belt. Move the knee. Let the knee be attracted to the wall behind you. That means you're really working in the center of your left buttock. Can you feel that both ribs are lifting upwards? And can you connect down into your feet more? Release the front arm. Reach left shoulder blade to left fingers, right shoulder blade to right fingers. And see if you can be equally weighted in your right foot as in your left foot. Breathe in. Come up. Turn your feet forward. And step your feet back together. Okay, we're going to revisit our triangle pose now, and then do a few more poses, but in a novel way. So what we just did is we started upright in Tadasana, and then we moved down into our standing poses. And now we're going to start out with our feet wide and with our hands on the floor in front of us. Now, this will be absolutely fine if you have 2 blocks. The point here is not how far down is my torso going. Let me just show that from the side. The point is not how far down is my torso going. The point is to get a feeling of spreading in the back and ease in the belly. So you can be up this high, you can be up this high, you could have piled up 4 blocks and be up this high. But think about spreading in your back here and being active in your legs. So this is called Prasarita Padasana. I'm going to put my blocks aside for right now. And I'm in Prasarita Padasana, expanding my feet, feeling big feet. If you want, actually, it's a nice position just to reach down and feel your feet. Feel the bigness of your feet. Let them be wide, let them be long. Just be easy in your back. Firm in your legs. The downness of your feet and the drawing up of the shins, drawing up of the thighs. And now I'm going to come into my triangle pose, turning my left toes in, letting my whole right leg come out, and letting my back sort of round over this front leg, and then sort of rising up from the earth into triangle pose. Now, wherever you come on your leg to be in your triangle pose is fine. I end up a little lower than I probably would have been if I had come from up down, coming down up. And to get out of it, bend the knee and let yourself just come through center. Again, easy, rounded back here, not hard in the belly, not pushing down towards the floor, but firm in the legs. Turn your right toes in, turn your left leg out, and just let yourself circle into the pose. And then refine the pose. Just feel, is there a psychological difference to this version, to what we just did? A feeling, or a feeling difference. Bhavana, what does it feel like? What kind of a realization is it? And then come back, and we're in Prasarita Padasana again. Press your feet, take your hands to your hips, and come up. I forgot to position the blocks. It will be nice to have blocks for coming into Prasarita Padasana here. Same thing from the bottom though. I don't mean, we're going to come in for Prasarita Padasana. Now we're going into Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. So again, I'm in the Prasarita Padasana. Turn the left toes in, turn the right leg out. But now I'm going to keep the right knee bent and take the block. It could be at whatever height is good for you. And then just let the arms circle up to complete the pose. Press the back foot down. Move the right knee into the right arm. And let yourself flow back down and around. Prasarita Padasana. Right toes in, left leg out. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Feel your feet. And come back down and around. Okay, now if you will need to come up if you're going to use blocks. If you don't usually use blocks, you don't need to come up right now. But I'm going to come into my Parsvottanasana side stretching pose. So I'm putting 2 blocks to be ready for that. So use as many blocks, or you could have a chair for this. And I'm in Prasarita Padasana, and I come around. And now I turn my hips all the way to face the block. So it's just an ongoing turning. But the right hip here has come forward. Lengthen my chest forward. I come back down. I let my back round, but I am trying to lengthen my chest forward over my foot. Then I bend my knee and come back down and through. You're gonna have to move your blocks to the other side if you're using blocks. You could just have your hands on your leg or your hands on the floor as well. And second side. Let yourself flow out over your leg if you can. Try not to dive your head towards your shin, but have the sense of the front body lengthening out over the leg. Then bend the front knee to come back to Prasarita Padasana. And now move your both blocks to the front of your mat, the part of your mat that's closer to me. You may want to come up and watch me do this once, but I'm going to move right into twisting triangle pose now. And I'm going to have my hand on the inside of my foot, so it makes it a little bit less of a twist. And I'm going to make this be pretty easy. I'm actually going to let my back, it's excellent to keep your heel down. It's hard for me to get all the way around, so today I'm just going to let my heel come a little bit up. I'm going to let my left hip come forward a little bit. I'm going to come into the twist, and I'm going to reach my it's my left heel back. And sort of wring it out a little bit. And I'm going to come out of it, bending this knee, coming forward, coming to the second side. And you could have this block a little bit higher, a little bit wider. You could have your hand on a chair instead. Once I've come around in the twist, then I reach back with my back heel. My stability is the back foot. But in my experience, I can create so much stability that I don't move or don't twist. Maybe that situation is called stagnancy. We're going to repeat that on each side. So just stay in Prasarita Padasana for a moment. Press your feet down, drop through your legs. Easy. Soften your belly. Broaden your back. And then let's repeat that revolving triangle pose. Your legs just kind of do what they have to do to bring your hips around. And left hand is on the block. Twist around, revolve. Your left side ribs around and around and around. Reach back with your left heel. Let the legs bend. Around and around and around and around through. Actually, let's do come through Prasarita Padasana, then come around and around and around and around. And coming back to Prasarita Padasana. Move your blocks. Walk with hands and feet around on your mat until you are in down dog. So connect mostly into the front of your foot, the balls of the feet, so that you can actually lift up through your arches, your shins, your thighs, even letting your heels lift up very high. Pull your hips up high. So go for the height first today. There's all kinds of reasons to do it in a different way. That's why I said today. And then try to keep that height, draw up through your thighs and go back with your thighs as you reach your heels down. Can you be lengthening at the back of your thighs, lengthening your hamstrings, making your hamstrings longer, maybe wider, as though your thigh bones are moving into the muscle. Press your hands. Feel the press of the hands Connect to the press of your shoulder blades. Lengthen through your armpits. Now bending your knees, slowly, 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 slowly come down to the mat. If you need a little cushioning for your knees, take that right now and we'll widen out our knees. You've got your blocks here, so go ahead and put your blocks down. And actually, let's also go ahead and take a blanket for the head. So, making a little wad of the blanket and take the box a little bit higher here and bring my toes together, widen my knees, and I rest my forehead on my blanket and take my hands onto the blocks. You could raise up the blocks to be at their highest height here. What I'm trying to do is, again, have this sense of, even as I'm in this resting position, that there's an opening coming along my armpit, long, long armpit. It's like the upper ribs get revealed. The upper ribs opening up to possibility, letting the light in. Looking to that sunlit hill in the distance. So now we're going to move our mat against the wall and take the feet together. We started out class with our hands together. Now the soles of the feet get to come together. That meeting of the skin of the sole of the feet is so nice. Now you could have a mat folded up. Let me show which way I would fold a blanket, excuse me. You could fold up the blanket this width to be at the wall like this, or higher blankets. I kind of like feeling my sitting bones on the floor and my legs raised up, even though it means that I'm really using the wall to be upright. It's just an angle that, I don't know, it's more earthy, and I think that can help us feel earth in our legs, which can help us be more kind of expansive through our legs. So sitting here, look down at your feet and let the outer edges of the feet come together and feel the pressure on the floor of the outer edges of the feet, and let the inner edges move away. You could even lean forward and take your hands and open up the feet like you're spreading the soles of the feet to the ceiling. And as you do that, there's a kind of natural rotating of the shin bone that happens first, and then the thigh bone that happens this way, and like it's that quality of drawing in to the outer hips. So try to keep that going, even pulling the big toe ball mounds away from each other, and you can have your hands by your side here and roll your arm bones back and lift your side ribs up the wall. So again, we're opening the chest here as we did before. Broad collarbones, shoulder blades wide on your back, and then take your awareness back to your feet. Notice if there's a difference from side to side. I have a big difference from side to side, so it's kind of interesting to notice how my hips will actually skew off to the right here. So I'm trying to stay on both sitting bones and keep an equal meeting of both the feet. Now, bring the legs in and stretch them out in front for Dandasana. And again, you could be higher on blankets here. Feel the wall on your back and let your back body be broad and rising on the wall as you go down with your sitting bones. Reach out through the heels. Open the backs of your legs to the mat. Now, if I'm going to give you a choice here. You can either do a down dog with your heels at the wall, or you're going to work into a half handstand. You know who you are. If you've not done half handstand with me in class, I would not do it now. But if you have done it with me in class, that's what we'll be doing. First, I'm going to show the down dog at the wall. So I'm letting my feet be a little away from the wall, and then I'm going to let the heels come up the wall. It's like the sole of the foot is at a 45-degree angle in relationship to the floor and the wall. And here's my down dog. So now I have those instructions I was giving you before about the legs. It's like the wall participates in that and attracts the thighs to the wall. Front of the shins, the back of the shins, and the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, side bones moving into the hamstrings. So you will be repeating that or doing that again if you're not going to do the half handstand. For those of you who are doing the half handstand, take the full length of your legs here and mark it. You could just use the edge of a blanket to mark where your heels are. And then place the heels of your hands where the blanket is. Now some students have been practicing this with a chair at the wall. You know who you are. So I would say do it if you know who you are and you know how to do it. Otherwise, just give it a go, pressing into your hands, especially the thumb side of your hands, keeping your upper arm bone in well, and then walking your feet up the wall. Then lifting your thighs, front of the thigh, the back of the thigh. Try to keep your hips rising as you bring in your upper arm bones, pressing your shoulder blades down to your hands. It's like that, the hands are the feet now. So create that downward movement there, that downward wind as you go up with your thighs. You can reach one leg up. That actually provides more upliftment. And I'm getting pretty tired here. Just managing to complete my second side. And then come down, all the way down. And then let's come into an Uttanasana. And at home, you can repeat the half handstand. You can also kick up into handstand if that's something you're working on. One can hold the elbows here in Uttanasana. The back of the legs may be feeling a little more limber than, because we've done a lot of opening of the back of the legs in class already. You can also take your hands to your shins. This is probably my preferred position. I'm someone who has had a lot of hamstring tightness over the years. Having the hands somewhere is a way of connecting the flow of energy through yourself. So don't just hang in the air with your hands. Have them on the shins, have them on the floor. Feel a cycling of energy through you. To come up, look forward. Bend your legs a little bit. You don't have to bend your legs a little bit, but that can be a nice way to come up. Now we're going to do a headstand. So again, if you're not doing headstands, skip this part of the video. So you're welcome to do the preparation into headstand. And that is, if you've never done headstand in class, you're welcome to do the preparation. So linking the fingers all the way up to the webbing is the start. And then this is the position that your arms will be on the floor. And you'll be keeping your elbows shoulder width apart on the floor. So just do this with standing up with your hands behind your head, bringing your elbows in. And notice that that's a kind of wrapping of the arms. The shoulder blades get broad on the back. And now imagine the shoulder blades moving up to the top of, in the direction of the top of your head, towards your forearms. And that's an action you're going to want to be doing upside down. Now, you can practice that action, and preparation for handstand is to practice that. The corner. I was just checking that I'm in the frame. So I'm getting the skin of my, this is, if I'm learning headstand, you can, welcome to just do your headstand away from the wall if that's what you're doing. I put my the skin of my fingers up against the wall, and then I bring my elbows in to be under my shoulders. Now for the size of my body, having a mat that's folded this way is just a kind of nice guideline for me. It gives me a lot of extra visual information about what my elbows are doing. I put a little bit more of the front of my head down on the mat. I go down with my forearms, curl my toes under, and lift my hips up. And I'm going to get that movement of the thighs, front of the thighs to the back of the thighs, the hips lifting as I press through my forearms, move my shoulder blades towards my forearms. And I can bring one foot in and take one leg up, like we did before. Try that on the other side. I don't want to let my shoulder blades fall out towards the wall at all. So I'm keeping my shoulder blades away from the wall the whole way. So that's handstand prep. That's all you're going to do if you've never done headstand before. Though in class, when we all come back together in class, I will be glad to then help you do the next step. Bjorn. The dog is attracted to inversions. I do not know why. Sit. Good boy. Down. Good boy. All right, here we go. So let's see if you can stay away from my face as I do this. So I'm back to the one leg up, and then it's just a little hop, pressing my forearms down, moving my shoulder blades towards the floor as I go up with the legs. Then I want to reach up through my feet like I'm standing on the ceiling. So now this is a kind of marriage, if you will, of the forearms stabilizing downward and the legs flying upward. So earth and air, down and up. And from that down upness, you may be able to feel your heels float off the wall. Don't think so much about pushing off the wall as lengthening up to get off the wall. One action that can be helpful to do while you're here is to open up the legs a little bit, like a foot. Roll the inner thighs back to the wall. And then bring the legs together. Feel the buttocks, the buttocks lifting, sort of firming and lifting up towards the heels. The skin of the back body does rise up. That is to say, from the base of the neck up to the buttocks, the skin of the buttocks, up to the heels, there's a rising. From the occiput to the floor, there's a lengthening down. But again, those are subtle movements. That's like a movement of the skin. The big movement is forearms down, shoulder blades down.
You can come down as you came up with one leg, or if you've been doing this a while, you'd like to practice coming down with two legs. You do have to work more in your arms as you curl your legs down. And for those of you who can do that with straight legs, you're also welcome to work on it with straight legs. Then come back into your child's pose.
So now come up, and I'm going to open up a blanket for softness and bring a chair over to the wall. We're going to come into our lying back hero's pose. And do just hero's pose, even if you don't do the lying back part. But this is one we've done a lot in class. Don't hit the dog as you open up your chair. So, I've got a block on the chair and a block to sit on. And if you need a little bit more height to sit on, you can just take a second blanket or towel or second anything and lay that on your block. You could also angle up your block, though in case you want to lay back, it's probably nicer just to build it up with blankets. And hero's pose. In hero's pose, front of my shins are on the floor, my toes are going directly back behind you. Is the dog in the way? Yeah, a little bit. Good boy. And the block is in between my ankles, so that when I sit back, it's the sitting bones are firmly on the block. So the block is widthwise under my seat. Let me show that. That's probably a better way to show it. Okay. So, for those of you who it's already a very big deal for either for the feet or the knees or the quadriceps to be sitting in this position, just sit in this position a little bit, and we're going to do a few more arm thing here. Garudasana arms. Bringing the right elbow over the left elbow and moving the forearms up. And now, yes, you slide the shoulder blades down as you move the forearms, the elbows up. Soften your eyes. This is so calming for the eyes, this pose. Feel your abdomen move, release really to your back body. Second side. Move your forearms, your elbows up, slide your shoulder blades down. Root down through your shins, through your sitting bones. Feel the abdomen come home on the back body. Release. Now we make another interlace of the hands. Roll the palms forward. This is the binding of the fingers pose, Baddha Padanguliasana. Second side. So if this is a challenge for you, you're going to skip the next part. That was enough. You've been in your Virasana enough. But if, I actually should have brought my chair a little farther away from the wall. I apologize. I'm going to move a little farther away from the wall. So the chair is not exactly at the wall. And that's so that you can have room to put it at the right place for you. So now I'm going to lift up and lay the bottom of my shoulder blades on the front of my chair. So my chair is just a wee bit close, so I have room to push it back. And then my head rests on the block. You could change this height to be a height that's right for you. You don't want your head dipping back. And then open your arms out to a nice big V. And breathe into that. Your your chest open like the sky. You can go wide here with your arms. Do cactus arms. Let's do all three of those again now. In a V with your arms, lift your sitting bones off the block, reach your arms back more, drop them down, and then keep them reaching as you drop your sitting bones down. Go wide with your arms, lift up your sitting bones. Reach your fingers to the floor. Drop your sitting bones and keep that expanse of the chest. I've lost my block a little bit. And now cactus, lift your sitting bones up. You move both the forearms now, moving down towards the floor. I can feel my shoulder blades, the muscles of my shoulders working against the chair. And then I drop my sitting bones down and keep reaching for my forearms to the chair. Okay, now in this last one, we're going to lift the hips up and thread the arms through the chair. My hands are actually at the wall right now. That's sort of an accident. You could be farther away from the wall and it could even be better. And then keeping the arms in the chair. You could skip this one if this is too much for your arms. Drop your sitting bones back down to the block. So for me, I get a stretch across my armpits again. That delightful feeling that my armpits are getting longer again. Soften your eyes here. And then just let your arms bend to come out of it. See if you can come back up to sitting with your hands on the fingertips on the floor, rolling your arm bones back and letting your chest lead the way, your head following. So I don't just let my head dangle back. I know that the head's going to follow. So there will be neck muscle action on that one. All right, this is going to be our final pose now today. A bit of a bridge pose, a variation from what we did last week. In your home practice, you could do what we're going to do, then do your full shoulder stand, and then come into Shavasana. And I just like to give you that choice because I like making those choices myself. You know, if you just want to do more inversion now, that is fantastic. Otherwise, no, let's all do this. But otherwise, this will be your last pose. And again, I put that in the wrong direction. I've got my, these 2 feet are actually at the wall, and it's the top of the chair that's going to be facing me. And now, if you don't have a second sticky mat, I would turn the first sticky mat over the chair. I should actually just do my setup that way, since I'm recommending it. And then I'm going to take a blanket opened up. Oh, I'm actually going to have 2 blankets. I forgot about that. I'm going to have 1 blanket opened up, but still leaving a little open space here. I'm assuming everybody has blankets at home. And if you don't have a yoga chair, you're just going to do Setu Bandha on the floor and lift up your hips, maybe put the block as we did last week. All right, so you'll do what we did last week, or you'll do your shoulder step. All right, so if you're doing this setup, you've got a blanket folded lengthwise like that at the edge of the sticky mat. So I've created a little cushioning on this part, and I have a little lift on this part. And now I'm gonna work it's like a car backing into a parking space, moving my butt in under the bucket of the chair. And if this is too tight for you, you're just going to redo your setup, making it longer and making it so that your shoulders are farther from the chair. But if it's seems almost a little short, that's really okay. Like mine, my shoulders are almost over the edge of the blanket right now, but I'm going to be able to hold the chair and keep the shoulders moving towards the chair as I go up. So I'm going to have my feet on the crossbar of the chair and push up. And here's the moment that I can roll my arm bone closer to the chair, down towards the floor, closer to the chair on both sides. Then you can reposition your feet. If you're in an uncomfortable spot, just try to move. I'm sort of on the front of my heels. And now holding the chair well, I roll my arm bones down, and I lift my chest, and I lift my sitting bones up to the floor. I'm lifting my buttocks up. So there's that sense of the buttocks really creating lift here. So this is a Setu Bang. It's a little variation on a bridge pose. I like it because I think I get a little more activated in the buttocks at this angle. I do not know why. Come all the way down and then press all the way up again. So feel here in the same way that headstand required going down. Now the going down is of the upper arm bones. They go down and they even draw in towards each other so that the vertebrae of my neck are not weighted. They're freed to go up. Come all the way down again. I'm just going to give one more variation for anyone who wants to play with this. Either repeat that or put your heels together, inner edges of the feet together. Press down through your right foot and reach your left leg up. But then do more with your shoulders. Arm bones down more, chest more. And what do you have to do to keep your hips from flying out to the right? My right leg is lifting. I do not want my right hip to sway out. So I have to work on right through the hip of that standing leg. Second side. Lift the hips more. Stabilizing the hips. And come back. Press both heels down. Lift up one more time. And then lower down. And now, this is a position that if you like it, you can stay in this for Shavasana. You put the backs of your knees over the chair. If that feels like too much pressure, you can move your blanket there. And then put the backs of your knees over the chair. And try to let yourself, so I'm even letting my hips come up for a moment so that the back of the knees really get there. And then I'm a little light in my hips. I'm suspended a bit. Like I'm in it's a bit of a hammock feeling. So I'm going to take my Shavasana here. If this is not comfortable for you, feel free to just lie out flat, or just if you just prefer to lie out flat in the simplicity of that, do that. And then take your fingertips to your skull, the back of your skull, and just lengthen your occiput away. You're also welcome to put something soft under your skull here now. If the feeling of the floor bothers you, or if your head is really tilting back, that's another reason to do it. But just use your fingers to lengthen the back of your neck. Notice how that creates a kind of movement of the skin along the skull to the hairline, and from the hairline to the bridge of the nose. So just let that skin settle from the hairline to the bridge of your nose. And let go of any contracting at the back of your neck. Let go in your eyes. Let go in your jaw. Let go of your efforts and of the doing. So this transformation that does seem to be part of this time, it's a transformation into, though we may not feel we can grasp it now, it is what we are. Let yourself rest in that. What you are. Let go. Now extend your next exhalation and deepen your next inhalation. Bring your hands into your torso as you bend your legs also in. And roll onto your side. Take a moment to give thanks to your body. And then, as you come up to sitting, your head come rest.